We shouldn't have it all. We shouldn't have it all.
What?
I think we're live. I don't. Something popped up and said. Something popped up and said it was something wrong with the stream title. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, they didn't update. They didn't update the stream title. Let me see if I can change it.
All right, baby. That song was so crazy because I never remembered the part like until I heard it again as an adult, where 50 Cent was like, "We gonna run up in your house, we gonna tear your mama down, and do what we had to get this dough. Now you can pray for a miracle, and God might be hearing you, and it's not my jam, right in my hand." I said, "Brother, what? How would you know it jammed unless you was gonna get Granny?
Gonna blame the blamer.
You was gonna get Granny. She has nothing to do with this. That's crazy. He moving wild. But anywho, fellas, we have a jam-packed show, and last episode, some of our wonderful listeners said we didn't get through all the topics, so we gotta make sure we stay on point and don't get into the weeds of arguing about certain players, as I tend to do. I'm talking to me. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to me. But we also got to get into y'all brethren in business getting absolutely washed and what his recovery.
That is not my brethren. How long y'all know me?
Fair enough.
And I've been hating no Drake the entire time.
Hey, that's fair. I'm gonna tell you, if there's anybody that's been disliking Drake before me, it's Josh Guyton. I mean,
I've personally been in situations to where it'll be a shorty like, yeah, this Drake. Like, me hating no Drake was more important than bagging a shorty in certain situations in my life.
Hey, no, you was wild.
No.
That's dedication to the craft.
I got one better. Hating on Drake was more important than hating on Brian for Guyton. And you know Guyton back in the day how much he hated Brian. You know.
But you know what? If 2024 has showed us anything, the world needs a little bit more hate. Let's be honest. We got all the haters up out the paint. We were on all this don't judge me nonsense. We let too much slide. Bring the haters back. But for real, let's get into the show, fellas, because we got a ton of playoff series to talk about. Potentially the most boring Game 7 ever. Two teams on opposite sides of the country that are equally cooked. And we have the potential new face of the league getting that tubby Serbian out of here. Joking. I'm joking. Fellas, y'all ready to get into it?
I'm ready for it.
Of course.
What's up, y'all? Have a seat. It's your favorite hour of the week with the facts over at Axe Crew. We got the master, the mixed master, Josh Guyton in the building.
That is I.
We got the money man, the man, Chris Allen in the building.
Right here.
And then you got the little old MC. That's me, Ken Gibbs. Now, fellas, I don't wear my Kappa robe often. I don't wear it often. But we're celebrating the downfall of a man that I felt was a weirdo, and I felt was a freaky ass DEI for the last 5 years. It's here, and I'm here to celebrate. But for the sake of the show, us three are his PR team. Each one of us has to come up with how we salvage Aubrey Drake Graham's image after these allegations, and after he was washed not once but twice in 2 separate rap battles. Fellas, what's your plan? I'm gonna start with you, Chris. Give me something.
We all could learn something from J. Cole from this.
Oh,
you should just when allegations are being thrown out there, right? For example, I give y'all a good example. I'm gonna take y'all back, man. No pun intended. But when Jay-Z had this beef going on with somebody, and somebody said something wild to Jay-Z, you know what Jay-Z did?
What?
Absolutely nothing. And we all forgot about what they said he did with that 17-year-old girl. It wasn't proven. It wasn't talked about no more because he gave it no energy, right? So I think J. Cole was like, y'all throwing shots like this, I'm going to bow out. And y'all ain't going to say nothing bad about me because I got skeletons in the closet like everybody else. So
I personally don't even think that's what happened with Cole. I think what happened with Cole was Kendrick came out with the like that. Cole responded, And I think this thing was mapped out for a minute. I think when Cole responded, Kendrick hit him up like this not we not just like rapping for fun. And Cole was like, you know what? Never mind. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, allegedly he was warned by Schoolboy Q, like, hey, you know, that old meme, hey, we finna blow this joint down. Don't be around here when we come back.
He told her don't come to school tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. So Chris, how do you salvage this at this point? If we his PR team, Chris, you gotta help. You can't just tell him.
I mean, at this point, you know, I already went back and forth. So take it back to high school, right? When you getting cooked and you getting cooked that one day, what you do? You come back the next day when you go in your bag of tricks and you get to steam boiling him. He got a different fit on. Now you pick apart that fit. So you just gotta double down. He gotta just keep going at it. Nah, you gotta keep going till you lose completely. Nah. So
okay, all right. That's.
I mean, think about it, Gib. When you get cooked at Cass, what you do? You waited till you had a bad day. You caught him on that bad day. They might try to square up. Well, not you, because you was bigger than everybody. But a lot of guys, I caught them on their bad day after they had me down.
Hey, listen, I understand. I get you. I got a whole. Trust me. I've been thinking about this for a minute. Ever since I heard "Not Like Us" the first time, and then I went back and listened again to re-listen to the lyrics the second time. Like before I listened the third time, I said, if I was Drake, how would I recover from this? And I came up with a plan. But I'm gonna say it last. Josh, what's your plan? What is your Drake PR response plan?
So little do y'all know, Drake already started his PR response. Mm-hmm. Drake is an investment. This is a man that signed a Universal Music Group. This is a man that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Signed with Nike?
It's a lot more people that got something to lose, regardless if anything ever comes out. The further you go, the more that people are going to dig. Out of sight, out of mind. Absence is the best way to make people forget about certain things. So if you're Drake, he already started his recovery tour. Do you know why? I personally think we're done with songs. That song that he dropped, the Heart Part 6, that wasn't a response to Kendrick. That wasn't him trying to rile up Kendrick. That wasn't him trying to win a rap battle. That was him playing cleanup, because going into this, you had people who was Kendrick fans, you had people who was Drake fans, and you had people in the middle. This section of people, the Drake fans, are who Drake have to appease, and it's already a section of those people that's like, regardless of what was said, like, Drake my guy, I'm rocking with it. You even had people that like, you had people trying to be like, after Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams and Not Like Us back to back, it was really people saying with their chest like, I think Drake's still up. Them songs wasn't really hitting like that. No, them songs was a Mike Bring bang, double bang, bro. Like,
hey, a double bang is crazy. A double bang. If Mike Bring hits you with two of them, your coach got to call the timeout. Your coach got it immediately. Fellas, let's regroup.
That song that he dropped was him playing Damage Control with his core following. If you listen to what he was saying, he was basically just telling them, like, no, it's not true. I planted evidence. And for Drake fans, that's enough for them to be like, okay, it wasn't true. He planted evidence. And that's all that they need to hear. So Drake already started his recovery tour, because no other song that he could drop. Like, Chris, you said keep going. We've already learned that Drake just not rapping with Kendrick, bro. Like, it's not something that's going to happen.
Kendrick is channeling his inner Eric Mays. What did Eric Mays say before he passed? R.I.P. to the legend. When you go low, I go low. And Kendrick gonna go low. Drake think he going low. Kendrick going to hell with it. He taking that boy to hell.
Kendrick warned him, don't go low. We can keep this friendly.
Yeah, he didn't want a friendly fade. So what's the rest of the PR plan? Does it just stay out of sight, out of mind? Is it
he already did what he's supposed to do. Just make Drake songs. This whole time he just been making Drake songs. The one time that he attempted to make a song that was like hitting, it fell flat, and that was Heart Part 6. The other diss songs he dropped was Drake sounding songs.
I'm gonna tell you, I've got the plan. I've got the master plan.
You got guys playing.
Yeah, let me tell you, it may not be God's plan, but it's Kim's plan. And it may help this man. That is part of it. Number one, get in a synagogue or a church. I know he's Jewish, so I'm not going to say get in the church if that's not your thing. Get in the synagogue, get in the church, get in whatever. Like, show people, hey, I'm active in my faith, number one. Number two, you got to dissect what are the allegations against you, which ones are proven, and which ones stick. Which ones are proven and sticking right now, right? Which one do we know for a fact is proven? The whole, he's a culture vulture, he takes people's style and leaves them on the hook to dry out, right?
Right.
Like he did with Drum and the Cha Cha Bling remix that then became Hotline Bling. Like he did with multiple other artists. McConan got in a lick. Talk about, yeah, I never really got anything for Tuesday because, like, that was it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's a thing that, you know, like OVR has been saying for a decade now.
So here's what you do. You latch on. Okay, combine that with the whole thing that you're not culturally black enough. Here's what you do. You go get a black artist. Who's the hottest artist in the game right now? Hottest up-and-comer? You ever made a bitty hit her knees? Well, guess what? I'm JP. You go get JP. Now, here's what you do. You give him every feature he needs. You give him every beat he needs. You get him a DJ Khaled beat. You get him a DJ drama. Everything you can get JP to succeed, you give him that. And like in 2-3 years, when people are like, oh, Drake never mentored no young black men. Oh, Drake never put nobody on to succeed. And you could say that's a Drake product. That's an OVO product all the way through. You could be like, look, he's right there. This guy that keeps charting with all these fun dance songs, I made him. He was in Milwaukee. He was hot when I found him. I made his hotness last for 5 years. He's a 10 millionaire now because of me. Concede the battle. Say, hey, Kendrick, you got me. I mean, lyrically, you got me beat, bro. But the allegations are not true. None of that is true. The minute anybody finds any evidence I did any of this, hey, I'll turn myself in. The minute somebody finds evidence that I did anything that's being alleged, I'll turn myself in. Obviously, even if they do find the evidence, you don't turn yourself in. You're a liar. You're lying. This is a PR move. So, you get JP, get in the church or the synagogue, whichever side of your family you want to associate with that day, either a black Baptist church in Memphis or a synagogue in Toronto, whichever one you want. I'm not mad at you either way, but you need to do that, and you need to be with your son all the time. All the time. You need to be you, Sophie, and that boy all the time. Okay? Y'all need to be, he said, meet the grams. You need to show the grams to the gram constantly. That's what you need to do. And boom, you won. You lost the battle, but you won the war. Especially because if Kendrick and his fiance break up, or if it comes out that he actually hit her, and then you can point to a young black man that you put on in 2 to 3 years, you won the war. You got to think about the war at this point. You can't think about this battle. You cooked in the battle. Win the war. That's my. If I'm his PR,
You ain't lied. You ain't lied.
That's my move. That's my move. You know what I mean? See, everybody talk about these checkers moves. You got to play 3D chess. When everybody in Toronto is popping out with all these stories about your mansion, talk about teenagers be there. You lost the battle. You lost. Go win the war, Aubrey. Go win the war. Obs, that's what your mama call you. I'm gonna call you Obs. I want you to figure this out. Listen to me. I'm trying to get together. And don't put no more screenshots. Tell your mama and your daddy be quiet. Because your daddy make you look like more of a creeper. And your mama calling black folks racist as if you the not black enough allegation already there. So that's your strategy. That's your go-to.
One thing that was wild to me was like you had a beef with people calling you white boy. Your response was, "You rap like you try to free the slaves."
Again, but you know what? You know why he did it? You know why he did it? Because he didn't have the Facts Over Acts PR team on the case. That's why he did it.
You're right.
We could have told him right. We would have saw that bar.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Get that bar out of there, brother. He's a fake activist. You mean the one that got a key to the city in Compton? That one? The one that was out there at the protest, marching? Get that out of here. Get it. That's not the angle. That's not the angle, bro. Just stick to calling them short. You could even stick to the white beating angle. Because, again, you can't prove it, can't disprove it. Let it cook. But, yeah, that's where I'm looking at for this one. But, speaking of folks getting beat on like they stole something, Ed Edwards said he's Terrence Crawford. He's whooping feet. Because these boys, the Nuggets are being decimated right now. Back-to-back 15-plus point losses. This is a first for the Nuggets in the playoffs in quite some time. Fellas, do the Nuggets have a path to coming back here?
You know what? I'm gonna come out and say it because I picked the Nuggets. I think I picked the Nuggets in 5 just because they're the defending champions. We've seen the Nuggets be nearly unstoppable with their offense. I didn't know, every championship team have their run and it comes to an end. But I think we all thought that this Nuggets thing was going to last at least 2-3 seasons. Maybe not winning a championship, but being a top dog in the league because they've made the Western Conference look extremely easy the past year and a half. Them boys cook.
Yeah.
And here's why. Here's the same thing that I told y'all. The entire playoffs. Like, I'm really big. Gibbs is really big on patterns. Something that's happened to repeat itself. Chris is really big on players. Chris believe if you got that dog right there, they can pull you out of any situation. I've always been really big on chemistry and body language. And just looking at that game last night, them boys cooked. Like that's not something that you can get over in a game and go to the locker room and be like, all right, we down 0-2 and we going to Minnesota and we got 0 answers for what's going on. We're going to go ahead and figure it out. Them boys is arguing every call. Minnesota got them clamped up and they're not even trying to get back on defense. They getting the ball stolen from them and they just frustrated looking over at the bench, looking at their teammates.
Yeah.
Denver out of here. And I would be surprised if they got a game at this point.
I'm going to tell you something. Jamal Murray throwing that heating pack on the court.
He threw 2 things.
He threw another?
He threw a towel first before he threw the heating pad.
He literally threw in the towel?
Yeah.
All right. That's enough. Wow. What a disappointment. Chris, what are you thinking? What do you think? Are the Nuggets cooked? Are they cooked? Is there a path back for them?
If y'all go listen to last week, it took everything in me not to pick the Wolves. I didn't want to drink from the Kool-Aid that Edwards have arrived. The brother is only 22 years old. I did not want to drink from the fountain of youth. I'm sorry to say this, but Edwards, ain't even just him. It's this whole demeanor off the court, demeanor on the court. He's literally a child prodigy in the sense of the NBA's age. Like, he's telling them what to do and they're listening. That's how much of a control he has on this series. Right. He did an interview. He said, Cat, your problem is you keep fouling. I told you if you don't foul, we we beat these Suns easily. Then they blew him out twice.
Yeah.
He's telling Jaden McDaniels, listen, bro, some games you're not going to get no shot, but we need you to put every effort you can on the defensive end. I'll make sure you get the credit. Going to the press box after the game, seeing Jaden McDaniels, he only shot 5.3 shots over the last 3 games. But he's still our most important piece. Yeah. You could replace my scorer, but you can't replace what he do. That's the type of stuff he's saying. When you hear somebody,
he getting a plus 10% teammate chemistry on my career.
Oh, absolutely. Listen, he for sure giving them plus 10%, plus minus the lone wolf leadership badge. No, minus 10 every time. Minus 10.
Listen. This is gonna have to take. Now, this is what we gonna see. What Joker and Jamal Murray made of. They all keep talking about Jamal Murray never been an all-star, but he's a superstar. We need to see it now. We need to see it right now. You just got hit for $100K for throwing temper tantrums on the sideline, throwing stuff on the court. You better come out there and drop 40.
Oh, absolutely.
You better go out there and drop 40. Joker, you're a 3-time MVP. If this was a LeBron-led team, Kevin Durant-led team, Stephen Curry-led team, who else I'm missing that's always Giannis-led team, if this was any of those 4 people right there, they would be hanging from a cross right now. Talking about, they don't have what it takes
crazy
to
visual,
wield their team.
Crazy visual. I get what you're saying. Crazy visual.
I'm just saying, they would be
No, but you're right. They would be crucified.
Yeah.
They would be crucified. So,
but you know, can I say something about Jokic real quick? It's time to have that conversation. Everybody was putting him up there with the all-time greats, the all-time generational bigs. And when I said he's not as good as Hakeem Olajuwon, Hakeem Olajuwon doesn't have as many MVPs as him. Oh, he's already got a championship. Hakeem Olajuwon only had one.
Hakeem had 2.
Oh, yeah, but you get the point.
They were back to back.
He's even with Hakeem Olajuwon now, and I'm like, how? Well, he's better offensively. I'll give you that. Yes, he's a better offensive weapon than Hakeem Olajuwon. The difference defensively?
Difference defensively is
when Ant sees that man in the paint, break out the Shannon.
You know what's crazy? The games they played earlier this year, and even in game 1, I didn't notice it. But like the way you just brought it up, when like the Timberwolves players got a Nuggets defender and ISO and able to get past him and get to the rim, and they see Jokic down there, it's no fear in their heart. It's not just Ant. But you had Alexander Walker going up on Jokic like he did not exist.
And people said that's the best player in the game. I said best offensive player, yes. I think he played on the best team for a time, yes. Best player. Oh, and by the way, this is officially the mark of the end of the super team era because now teams are seeing, look what happens when you get the right depth pieces that just want to play their role. Jake McDaniels knows his role. He knows his role. You know, in the words of, I used to watch wrestling way back when. You know, my guy Josh got me back on it a little bit, but back in the day, I used to be every Monday, Friday. I want to say there was some on Wednesdays too.
ECW, who's you watching the ECW?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Me and my brother, and my
Friday at 8 p.m. used to hit different.
And y'all know who my favorite all-time wrestler is.
The Rock.
The Rock. And you know what he would tell folks all the time? Know your place and shut your mouth.
Know your role.
Know your role. I'm sorry. Even better. Know your role and shut your mouth. And you know what the Timberwolves are doing? Rudy ain't down there saying, hey, I need 15 touches a game. If I don't get my 15 touches, I can't do what I do. Cat not out there saying, I need to be the number one guy. I need ain't out there saying, I'm the point guard.
We good.
We good.
You cut for a second.
We good? Oh, my bad. Mike Conley ain't out there saying, I'm the point guard. I need the ball more than anybody else. No, none of them guys are doing that. You know what everybody's doing? You know what the guys off the bench are doing that are putting Jamal Murray in hell? Hey, my job is to put Jamal in hell. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, and everybody bought into their role. They got Cat playing tough.
Hey, bro, hold on. But it's a zesty tough, though. Y'all can't lie. Cat out there looking zesty. He looking zesty, bro.
This still the toughest zest we done seen him with. He out there like he want to play.
You remember old Cat used to stand on the perimeter, and y'all remember
Cat hitting brook fakes and going to the rack with some muscle.
Y'all remember when the announcer was like, Carl doesn't want to play tonight. Look at him. And he missed a 3 and checked himself out the game, bro.
Yeah.
This is not that same Cat.
All right, that boy Ant said, Cat, you 16. Go to the basket. Cat was like, okay. You right.
But you see what I'm saying? Everybody's playing their role. Cat is no longer thinking he Dirk Nowitzki. He's saying, you know what? I got a big body. I can go down there and put my big body on somebody. Pause. He going down there and doing what he got to do. Get you a bucket, big fella. I'm telling y'all right now, this should show all of these GMs, all of these coaches, you don't need a ton of superstars to win. And don't get me wrong, Ant being the superstar that he is absolutely a driving force of this. But it's more so the team. You had the defensive player of the year missing because his wife was having a child. I respect it. Never, listen, even though it's basketball, it's still just a job. It's still just a job.
Right.
That family, your kids, they can't replace you. Even if you passed on and your wife gets a new husband, they get a stepdad or new dad, all that, they're not Rudy. That's just the facts. Go be with your kids.
You sure? Because Gilbert Arenas said that your kid gonna be there
how
when
many
you
rings
get back.
Gil got? How many rings Gil got? All that, you know what I mean? Like, stop it. Get out of here, bro. And he had all his son's stuff. He always taking his son everywhere he got it. Stop it. Knock it off. But you see what I'm saying, though, right? Like, they missed the defensive player of the year last game. And how'd they do defensively, Josh? How'd they do?
They might have did better than they was in game one. I mean, you got a player like Jay McDaniels who his plus minus was plus 33 when he was on the floor.
He got a plus 51 over 2 games.
Nas Reed come in the game and he don't say, "Ooh, everybody like my handle so much, I don't got to play defensive rebound." He says, "No, I'm in here when these two are out of the game. I'm in here to fill in as a surrogate for whatever we need." If
He had that boy Jokic clamped.
That's what. If I need to put on the handles, I'll do it. If I need to lock down defensively, I'll do it. He just does what he's supposed to do. Everybody plays their role.
No.
Plays.
Here's what I think the Nuggets can do though, right? If they go and beat the brakes off them game 3, I think that sends a message like, no, we are the champs and we not gonna let this be easy. I don't think they can do it.
It can't be close.
If they win, it ain't gonna send enough message. It's gonna be like, oh, everybody pay taxes type of message. But if they go beat the brakes off of them in Minnesota and come back at least 2-2,
they have to show championship poise and composure. And that's where the last thing I was gonna say. If there is a path forward in this game 3, I think they can win it close and they'll be all right. But you have to show poise and composure. If you lose this game, or if you win this game and it's like y'all are all over the place, y'all are scrambling, it just so happens to be that Jokic gets a great matchup. Somehow y'all end up where it's a switch and against Jokic and he gets to hit an easy little post hook and they win. If they're all over the place, they still not in a good spot. If they can show championship poise and show we're not rattled, things didn't go right last game, things didn't go right game 1, we're the champs. The championship goes through us still. You still gotta kiss the ring if you want to get to where you gotta go.
Yeah.
Be all right. So
that bring up a question. I bring up a question we talk about on the show a lot though. Would this be if the Timberwolves were to win the championship? Would this be the first championship where they didn't knock on the door first?
I think so. I don't remember another team that did. Well, I get no, because they didn't get past the first round last year, did they?
No.
And the year before that, they was in a play-in.
Yeah. Shout out to Pat Bev.
What a
sicko.
I think that got to be the first team.
It will be. This will be the first one in quite some time.
I mean, on the other team that they only knocked on the door once was the Bucks, but they knocked on the door that year before, lost, and then they came back.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe like the big 3 Boston, but at the same time, you got 3 players who have been knocking on the door individually for a long time.
Yeah. That don't count. Yeah. Because to me, the super teams are kind of excluded from the
Toronto
theory.
Did Toronto knock on the door?
No, they was in the conference final with Bronze.
They was in the conference finals about 3 years. You're right.
That's what I'm saying. They knocked for a year before they got it. I think this would be the first one. I think this would be the first one where it's like first round exit, champs.
Because I'm trying to go all the way back.
Even Jordan Bulls back then.
Yeah, they was knocking on the door 5-6 years.
Yeah.
I can't think of nobody else that ain't knocked on the door. Them the rules.
Even going back to 1980, like I can name every champion since at least 1980. All of them has knocked on the door.
If Ant is skipping the line, I ain't mad at it. They keep talking about America's losing our edge in basketball. Well, look at that. 2 times a real DEI is whooping on a light-skinned Canadian for the States. I love it here. This makes me excited. This is what I live and breathe for. So, speaking of teams that are, knocking on the door, got close, didn't get in, we got one team that's won the championship, but one team that hasn't. But they both old. They both debilitated. They both getting a little creaky in the knees, a little broke down with the Bucks and the Clippers. Both teams lost their series. I believe the Clippers went to 6 against the Mavs. They lost.
Yep.
The Bucks went to 5 against the Pacers. They lost. No Giannis. And I believe Dame was hurt for his portion of that as well. Fellas, which team do y'all think is in a worse spot? The Bucks or the Clippers going forward?
The Los Angeles Clippers are in a far worse spot. Here's why. So both teams are in very, very washed territory. After watching this past season, I think we've seen the best that Damian Lillard has to offer. Let's not forget Damian Lillard is in his mid-30s. Chris Middleton at his very best was a serviceable 2-man, and he wasn't in his mid-30s.
No, serviceable 2-man. Hold on. He's a 3. He just had enough pieces around him to be a 2-man. He was not a 2-man.
I said he won a championship as a 2-man.
I think
No. But I think he won a championship.
He is to 2s what Jason Tatum is to 1s to me. Like,
yeah,
he can do it if it's the right talent around. So I get what you're saying, Chris. I agree that if the right talent around him, he could be a 2. But he's not a traditional 2. That's he's not the traditional Robin to Batman. He's not that. So Josh, you've got the Clippers in the much
and I got the Clippers. This is why. The Clippers, your prime 4 players are Paul George, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook. All men who are coming off massive contracts, all men who are free agents. So either they can walk for free or you have to re-sign them for big money unless they already get together and take pennies on a dollar to try to put together a roster, which they probably aren't going to do. If you do bring them back, you're talking about 4 players who have little to no trade value, unless you're a team that's in the pits like the Pistons, unfortunately, and you're trying to bring on a player to sell some tickets or sell some jerseys. Nobody's going to
Paul George to my organization.
Nobody is going to trade for them. For starters, they're washed. They still have flashes of being great players because they were great players. What's something that, for example, Gibbs, I played baseball, Chris played baseball, you played football, but we all haven't played on a organized level in nearly a decade. Yep. So if we went against the average, just person off the street in some baseball or some football, we'd be cold.
Oh, we'll come.
Just like Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they still show flashes of greatness when they're going against average NBA players. But when it's time for the lights to get bright,
catch a 50 ball. The Rockets don't catch a 50 ball every time.
Man, but them boys was looking old. Them boys was moving old.
I knew it was coming.
And that's the issue because what else do you have to build off of? Who's the only player you got under 30 that maybe has some upside? Terrence Mann?
Terrence Mann, yeah.
And Terrence Mann, I mean, he's a good player, but he may be a 3 or 4 man on the championship team.
4. I don't think he's a 3.
And they went and got rid of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to get Paul George. They got rid of all of these pieces to get these players. They don't have a first round draft pick until 2032. The Clippers do not have a first round draft pick until 2032.
Oh, Steve Ballmer better be recruiting tough. He better do some tampering.
The next time that the Clippers have a first round draft pick, my nieces will be sophomores in college.
Lord have mercy. Shout out to the little Zifters racking up student loan debt.
And the only reason I say Milwaukee is in a better position because they have players who maybe be less talented than the Paul Georges and Kawhi Leonard, and they are at the same age. They're equally as washed.
Yeah.
But they also have somebody named Giannis Antetokounmpo who's younger than everybody on this show and has an MVP and has a championship. And if you want to keep him happy, you can give him big money and you can rebuild around Giannis. You can't rebuild around Terrence Mann.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Chris, which team's in the worst place to you? Talk to me.
Hey, guy, you was talking. Respectfully, I disagree. Respectfully. Everything you said hit the point, right? Hit the point. If the Clippers were trying to win a championship. The Clippers ain't did squat, and they buying a new arena. The boys ain't trying to win for real.
You don't think? You don't think that
Them boys ain't trying to win for real, bro.
Chris,
Them boys ain't trying to win.
So you mean to tell me Paul George, Kawhi Leonard? You tell me Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, they not trying to go out there and get a championship.
Skips. Steve Ballmer is a multi-billionaire, right? Multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
He decided we ain't pissed the drop, but I'm gonna build this brand new arena, right?
Because he wanted them to get identity separate from the Lakers.
Okay.
If they share arena with the Lakers, they were always going to be little bro.
Exactly. So guess what? I got 4 superstars that people love through their whole career, that's gonna carry me to this new arena for a couple years, and then we're going to rebuild mode after everybody. We get our own name and face, right? You don't have to win to do that. You do not have to win to do that.
That's fair. That's fair.
You don't have to win to do that.
So you saying they pushed all their chips to the table for a rebrand?
They pushed all their chips to the table to start building an identity, and after they get that identity and they're their own organization, they're going to start a rebuild. When all these players is 37, 38, 39, they all retiring. Yes, that everything I said is accurate, but the Clippers when have the Clippers ever tried to win? Let's be real here. Let's be real here.
They've
Lob
tried.
City was a great attempt. Lob City was an excellent attempt.
They've
It was an
tried.
excellent attempt. It was an excellent attempt that you hired Doc Rivers.
That's what I'm saying. They just had a terrible coach. They just had a terrible coach.
Okay? Like come on now. They have never tried. They did enough to make the team a great regular season team. Job well done, Bomber. Another multi-billion-dollar business deal.
Oh, not
Okay.
I see the angle. Okay, now
You see what I'm saying?
I get you.
You know what I'm saying?
I see
Well
where you're going. I
done.
see where you're going now.
Well done. You took a great coach in Ty Lue, right? He's a phenomenal coach, but you gave him checker pieces on the chessboard. It's not gonna work. He can't pull off a 2016 Bron type job. He don't have Bron. Kawhi does just enough in the regular season to make sure he get paid. And guess what? I got $150 billion a year. I don't have to really do much to keep Kawhi happy. You want $100 million? Take $100 million, Kawhi. Just stay with the organization. Make sure we make the playoffs and it's relevant. I can make my money back in concessions.
And you know what's crazy? Now that I think about it, see, this is why we call Chris the money man and the man with the plan. Because if you think about it, hold on, for real. Hear me out. Where is Westbrook from?
Yeah, they all from the same neighborhood.
Harden.
I'm trying to tell you, this is a business deal. This was a business deal.
Hey, and they did have them West Coast jerseys last year.
They're all hometown heroes.
This is a business deal. They got their family selling tickets for them. I'm trying to tell y'all, they ain't trying to win when they did this.
Granny Westbrook selling tickets is crazy.
They weren't trying to win when they did this, Gibbs. All four of their best players is from LA. And look, anytime Paul George line himself go on air, one point say Kobe was his favorite player ever to watch, and to say he grew up a Clippers fan, come on, Gibbs. This was a business move. This was a business move. The Bucks, on the other hand, let me get on them. So that's the Clippers. This is why I think the Bucks are in a worse situation. Dame look like he's in a desert on the island with no water. He do not want to be in Milwaukee. That brother is really sharp. He was like, bro, I thought Portland was bad. I'm in Milwaukee. I'm in Milwaukee.
He not trying to link up with Certified Trapper and JP and Big Homie.
Hey, Milwaukee, my man's what's my y'all remember the meme of my man's I don't even know how to explain my man's dropping down.
The one that dropped down again. Yeah.
I didn't even know how to explain what it is that he did, bro.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Mr. Make it back and make it dub. Yeah, I remember that guy. Listen, bro. You don't tell people I want to go to Miami and then be happy about Milwaukee. You don't do that. You don't. I done been to both cities. Several times, okay? Milwaukee's an hour drive that way for me right now from Chicago. Right. Okay? When I go see my peoples in Florida in December for Christmas and we go to the beach and have Christmas dinner, that just feel different. That gives. That's just, you in North Carolina gives. You know. Listen, that just feel different. I've been to Miami.
That just feel different.
Listen, I'm not going to argue with you at all. I've been to Miami. Brother, I understand. If there's anybody who knows exactly what you're talking about, if there's anybody who's experienced it, brother, I know.
Listen.
Trust me. I've been to bowl games in Florida and been on the beach eating all you can eat crab legs and steak type deal. I know.
Listen, and you mean to tell me you paired that with Chris Middleton he maybe played 45 games this year. Brooke Lopez is not too far off from Bron. I think he was in the draft two draft after Bron. Okay. Yeah. You picking it up, putting it down. You got the Nazis in your second unit.
And here's the thing. Chris has pleaded his case so well, he's won me over. Because in my mind, I'm like, there's no way that you're going to tell me that the Clippers are. But it's about the end goal. It's about the end game of what you
feel me? We built our reputation, and now we can go take our 2032 draft pick, draft the best person overseas or in the U.S., and start building around them.
But the only flaw, the only chink in that armor, Kawhi only plays like what 40 games a year right now.
That's it though. If he wins 35 of them 40 games, you're good.
Hear me out. Here's the problem. He plays 40 right now. There's a diminishing return on his knees every year. 2 years from now, Kawhi's going to be out the league. Like, let's be very real about that. Kawhi's still not going to be playing in 2 years.
And guess what?
He's going to be gone. And guess what? When he leaves, Harden's likely going to be gone. Westbrook at times is barely playable right now today. He's going to be retired. James Harden is probably the one with the most longevity, but that boy loves them strippers. I don't know how long he's going to last. I don't. Like, being on a very serious tip, any athlete, any serious athlete knows you have to get to bed. You have to get your body right. That's why Dennis Rodman was looked at as like this marvel of like this eighth wonder of the world, because nobody could fathom partying the way he did and then going out and playing how he did. Like, that was insane. That's it. Harden is not. I don't think he has another 3 years left. So here's the problem. The new stadium is going to be done when?
They start their next season.
Yeah, next season.
So, and here's the problem. You build that up, and when after you're done building it, you still gonna owe money on that 9 times out of 10. Like most of the time,
he paid cash for it. He paid cash for it.
He paid cash?
It was only $6 billion.
He got money to get it all for.
He makes $150 billion. I just said that.
Oh, well, you know what? If he paid cash, hey.
He got the 4 Inglewood's best players on the team. This was a business deal.
Here's still the only problem, though. Even if he packs it out the first year, you only going to see losses for at least the next. That puts you at 2026. You don't have a first-round pick till 2032. You're going to be They might stagger out into like 3, 4, 5, 6 years, right? They might stack. Hard might be the longest to stay. They can't. Let's say years.
There's no way you can do that. They all in their mid-30s.
But y'all missing out Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann. They're still gonna have some players that's gonna be decent level players in the NBA, right?
Sure.
You're still gonna be a middle of the pack team, is what I'm saying. And then not to mention, they're gonna probably sign some free agents in their own arena.
If Kawhi and PG and Harden and Westbrook are your 4 that you ride with, and plus Terrence Mann, obviously, because Terrence Mann not worse than all those 4 right now. If those are your 4 in the year of 2026, you are going to be one of the worst teams in the league. And I'm not. It's not even close.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think you still be a better team, at least in the play-in.
I say in 2 years, if that's your roster, your ceiling is the play-in.
In 2 years, you already made return on your investment.
Your ceiling is not the play-in with those 4. In 2 years?
Your ceiling is the play-in. I can see them getting a 10 seed.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
not. 10 seed, bro.
You don't see them getting a 10 seed.
Here's the only thing I'll say. If enough teams are tanking all at once, if there's another like Wemby level guy coming out and teams are like, we're going to throw our hand in for the year. We ain't got no spades. Sure. I can see it. But if it's not that, it wouldn't even make sense.
You also eliminate the fact that it's a free agent destination. They're going to have their own stadium, and Ballmer is willing to pay whatever to keep it afloat. A guy like Trae Young come up to about and say, let's sign Trae Young. Russell Westbrook done, Harden done, let's sign Trae Young.
But what's a free agent that signed with the Clippers?
I'm saying they have to build the identity, but that's part of the process. You build the identity, get a couple free agents, you make it to 2032, draft the best guy on the board, and you be terrible 2030 to 2032, you get the best 2 guys on the board.
I hear you. It just feels like there will at least be, like, the plan. It's a great plan. It really is. The only problem is I feel like they pushed all their chips to the middle to get a chip, and now that they've realized that's failed, it's like, I guess the consolation prize is we got all these hometown heroes for the situation. But I'm going to tell you this. The Bucks do have Giannis. You can build around Giannis. Giannis has shown he's the one on the team that's really good, even pretty good. I'd say without him, they were pretty good. I wouldn't say they were like, that's a 60-win team, 50-win team without him. But I'd say they were pretty good. I'd say 45, 50-ish type team without him. But I get it. I get it from the standpoint. If it's about who's more likely to win the championship going forward, it's Bucks by a mile.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we're taking the angle of the Clippers just want to make their back ends back on building this facility.
I just looked up real quick. Y'all might have heard me type it. He took the $2 billion out of an investment he made when he was 19 years old. He wasn't missing that money. He wasn't missing that money. He said, look, I'll build an arena, get these LA guys, make it sustainable, and I get my investment back.
Is Ballmer adopting any kids, anything like that?
Man.
You need, because I know some, you know what, never mind, we ain't going to go there. But, you know, that's, I mean, Chris, I see you. Like I said, you convinced me. You convinced me because I came into this thinking there's no way that we're going to be on the opposite side of this one. Like, we all can agree. But you know what?
It gets better. He's finalizing an agreement to get 2026 All-Star Weekend and Intuit Dome in Inglewood. He already got the All-Star Weekend secured for 2026. That might be Kawhi's last hoorah. That might be his last hoorah.
I mean, listen. I rock with you. I see the vision. I really see the vision. I'm, again, not gonna lie to you, not gonna cap to you. If I didn't agree, if I saw something that was funny in the water, hey. But the plan really does seem solid. It really does seem like, you know, it's one of those moments where, objectively speaking, somebody cooked here, in the words of one Walter White, and it's very apparent that one is Steve Ballmer. But when we talk about the Clippers, we're talking about a bunch of guys, they're just about cooked. And we got to talk about guys who are officially at that point or beyond it, but still trying to give it a go. In our latest segment called Hang That Sugar Honey Iced Tea Up. Now, everybody, I'm going to let y'all get a list of as many as you want, but just go ahead. We're going to go round robin, and we're going to get this thing about 10 minutes to cook. Who do y'all think needs to hang it up and immediately?
It's gonna hurt me to say this because this was my guy, especially if y'all remember me from high school. I was like, he gonna be one of them ones, and he was developing into that. My dog PG, Paul George. I'm a huge fan of your podcast. Shout out to you. Shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to everything you've been doing. But like, you a charismatic, sometimes funny dude. I think it's time for you to move on to the next phase of your career. Like watching you, it's flashes that show me that Paul George is still a hooper. But it was also certain things where he looked old. He couldn't finish at the rack. And it was hurting my heart to see it. And the only reason I say hang it up, like, yes, Paul George can have 2-3 more seasons where he average around 20 points. And he could stat. You know, he could pad his legacy. Like, oh, Paul George is top 15 all-time scoring. Like, you...
Yeah.
But the ultimate goal is to win when it comes to sports. And like, unless Paul George is one of them dudes that's about to be like the sixth man on an already established team playing with some young dogs, like our hopes of seeing Paul George hosting up that Larry O'Brien being front and center is like, it's been going, but that Dallas series like cemented it for me. I was watching, was it game 3? With my girl, and I watched Daniel Gafford just smack Paul. I think it was PJ Washington just stuffed Paul George at the rim, bro. And I was just like, oh my god.
He had 2 30-point games that series, though.
My guy.
Yeah.
Oh.
If PJ Washington is meeting you at the rim and saying, hey, son. You know, Chris, you're the one who showed us that brother got beef with Kelly Oubre. Brother, get out of here. You can't be beef with Kelly Oubre and make me think you're going to get a ring. Hang that shit up. Paul George, it's time. Hang it up. Chris, who you got? Who's the first on your hang it up list?
And to hang that shit up, you pick Paul George first, guy? That's pretty crazy, honestly.
I picked Paul George.
Oh,
okay.
I got a top pick.
My pick might outdo your pick, Gibbs. Benjamin Simmons, come to the front of the classroom. Come to the front of the classroom, Benjamin Simmons. You at Met Gala. You an Instagram model to me now because you don't play basketball.
The fit went crazy, and they said, much like his NBA career, Ben Simmons did not come to play. I said, whoa.
That's wild.
Hang that shit up, Ben Simmons.
That's wild.
Y'all, I got a better one. See, there's a young man that goes by the Point Fraud. There's a young man that goes by CP0 Rings. There's a young man that was born in 1985. 85.
But my thing
Old
is
as dirt.
with this segment, I thought we were supposed to point out people that like, oh, you think PG should hang it up? I think it's like a worldwide.
That's what we doing.
It's a worldwide unanimous decision. Like Chris Paul should have been hung it up.
Christopher Emmanuel Paul, sit your behind down and go make those, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? State Farm commercials. You're playing like Cliff Paul. Stop it. Go retire. Go off the pasture. Go with your, listen, people don't like Chris Paul, but I'll tell you what, he was named the president of the Players Association a few times for a reason. There's a reason. You know, he's a pit. He seemed like the type of guy that's a pit bull when it comes to negotiation and all that. Go retire. Go on and retire, brother. Go on and retire. I'm not saying you got to go back to Winston-Salem. Maybe you love it out there in San Francisco. Maybe that's more your speed than old Winston-Salem where you were born and raised. But go on and hang it up.
All right, let's go Snake. Let's go Snake. So go again, Gibbs, and bring it back to Guyton. Let's go Snake draft.
All right, well, I know that many people are going to disagree with me here, and there's going to be argument, oh, he's still okay, and he's in a perfect situation down there in Miami. Odell Beckham, come here. Come here, son.
I was just saying that. Oh, yeah.
Hang that shit up! The Ravens could not find a receiver to get open or catch a pass. You go to the Ravens with an MVP quarterback. You have a good offensive coordinator. They're scheming up things where literally your only job, create separation, and a MVP will find you. That brother created less separation than old black couples that couldn't afford a divorce. You understand? You know that friend you got where it's like, hey man, why your grandma and grandpa like always staring at each other like that? They kind of hate each other, but they just stay together for some reason. That's how much separation Odell created. Hang it up. Stop it. But listen, it's not his fault. I don't blame him, much like Chris Paul. If y'all want to pay me money to go out there and move old, hey, all right, youngins, let me go on out here and show y'all something, you know. But honestly, Odell, I'm not disappointed in you. Miami Dolphins, Mike McDaniels, disappointed, embarrassed, ashamed, if you will. Chris, who you got?
Listen, I got two heat ones. I don't know which one to go with first. I'm going to go with this one first. This gentleman has two brothers, right? Two brothers. They all of them used to be able to hoop. I say they all just get tattoos and take pictures for Instagram now. Because Lonzo Ball, you need to hang that shit up. These was Guyton day one, A1 boys. You was. And anytime I see LaMelo Ball out 6 months this season for ankle injuries because he wearing Pumas that don't fit, and your brother over there sat out 2 seasons, he ain't been right since Magic Johnson said, let me have some records. He said, no problem, boss. You can have all the records. I don't want to hear nothing.
You know what? It really hurt me to say this because those my guys, LaMelo on real thin ice. If I see one more IG post where you posted some new jewelry or some new tattoos and your team got 15 wins, dog, get on the court.
He out there having a my player run. He said, hey, I'm spending my VC on tats and ice, baby. Tats and ice. Oh, man. Josh, who you got? Who you got?
It's going to really hurt me to say this, man, because
and we're doing one more round after this, and we out of here. We're going to hang it up.
This guy was a dog for many of years, and this is the first year. I mean, he's coming off injury. This is the first year we really haven't seen him be a dog. But after we seen out of him this year, any chance of like getting what once was back is over. And I'm saying my hang it ups are based on like you don't want to be a shell of yourself. You don't want to be embarrassed. Like you remember Cole was like, I never want to be a guy that scores 20 a game. Like that's how I feel about my career. Like if I was an athlete, once I hit my ability to not do what I was once able to do, I'm out of here. Klay Thompson, hang that shit up.
Clay? No, Klay got some years left.
No, he don't. What is Klay's ceiling? Klay's ceiling is Ray Allen in Miami.
That's not bad.
We hope that you find. We hope a man that scored 60-something points on 3 dribbles.
But see, that's
you don't want to be Ray Allen in Miami. Hang it up. And guess what about Ray Allen in Miami? Unless Klay Thompson leave Golden State right now and go get a mid-level exception somewhere, Ray Allen in Miami was great because you got to stand in the corner while Chris Bosh, LeBron James, or Dwayne Wade got the ball. You gonna be open. Right. Klay Thompson being a number 2 man, being a number 3 man, being a number 4 man. Them days is over.
He's a 4. He's a 4.
He could be the 4th option, but he got to come off the bench. He can play with the starters.
He had Chris Middleton 4th option for so now. He had Chris Middleton 4th option for so now. That brother can't guard nobody. He can't guard a park car.
He
can't finish at the rim. He can't create his own shot. He can't guard nothing. You just got to pray you find that man open.
But if you find him open, 3 is more than 2.
Klay Thompson used to be, I'm grabbing the ball, I'm in your mouth and I'm pulling. Klay Thompson missing. If you close out fast enough, he bricking.
That's fair. Ooh.
Klay Thompson is that one dude at the rec that you see him warming up. You like, yo, I want him on my team because he hitting all the jumpers. And as soon as the game start, he open in the corner, you hit him and somebody just, hey, and that's enough to make him miss. A quick clap. Now his jumper broke.
If you miss off the clap, you may need to hang it up. Okay, That's fair. Josh, give us one more. Give us your last hang it up.
One last hang it up. This time I wasn't expecting 3. My one last hang it up. This is not going to be somebody that's physically on the court. This is going to be somebody that should have hung it up at least a decade ago, but they still out there getting a lot of money, getting a lot of jobs. Doc Rivers.
Yep, I knew it.
That shit up. Now, I'm not saying that Doc Rivers is not a man that's allowed to have a job. This is a man that, he's seen a lot of things. He's coached a lot of places. Doc Rivers could have a podcast on all the things he's seen in the NBA. Doc Rivers could be, he could be on the Tuesday panel for Inside the NBA, when Shaq don't feel like coming to work. It's a lot of things that you can do for a check. But putting the X's and O's on a clipboard, hang that shit up. You had to have the most talented crop of athletes ever to come out with one ring. This man is Coach Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady, Paul Pierce, Antoine Walker, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Damian Lillard. He got one ring.
And the most blown 3-1 leads of all time.
Most blown 3-1 leads. This man had T-Mac and Grant Hill and blew a 3-1 lead to a Pistons team with a rookie Tayshaun. Rasheed wasn't there yet, and Rip Hamilton was hurting out for the series.
Yeah.
Darvin Ham was starting that series.
Wait, Darvin Ham started that series and they lost?
Yes.
Yeah, it may be.
Darvin Ham can hoop, though. I like to hold you. He can hoop.
Darvin Ham was a good. You remember? I'm not saying Darvin Ham could hoop, but back in that time in the NBA, Darvin Ham was a good slasher. Like that one dude that could just. On the 2Ks, you could make a slasher. All he could do is dunk and fill the lane. Darvin Ham was great at that.
He was my man from MSU Brown. I can't think his first name right now. He was him.
Shannon Brown.
Shannon Brown. Yeah, he was Shannon Brown.
Yeah, Darvin Ham was a stockier Shannon Brown. That's a perfect comparison.
Yeah.
Okay, Chris, who you got? Who's your last hang it up?
Hey, listen. This organization is somebody that until the owner tip the bucket, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Ooh.
They ain't gonna do nothing.
Oh, you stole my right.
Hey, listen. And you talk about you going back to that organization to ring chase.
You stole them right from
You led the Patriots in receptions. Ezekiel Elliott, hang that shit up! Hang that shit up!
You stole them right from under me.
Hang that shit up, Ezekiel.
Listen, when I saw that reunion happening, I said, no, not like this. Not like y'all should sign Zeke to a 1-day contract at the end of it. So it's like, hey man, we want to acknowledge you and we want to let you hang it up as a Cowboy, but like not as an actual player for real, just as like a momentous kind of thing. Like, this is just a nice thing to say. This is a nice thing to have. But, I'm upset that you stole them from me. But thank God I've got something in the tuck. Thank God I've got one in the cut that was waiting. And I hate to have to say this about this young man because I really wanted to believe in him. I saw a graphic recently that was talking about the best receivers in the NFL. And they were talking about them by category. They had DeAndre Hopkins as one of the best jump ball receivers.
When?
The graphic that they used, it just was made like a week ago. The graphic that they used had Marcus Peters in a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. Hey, D-Hop, I love you, baby boy. Love you. You know you my guy. You know, this is no disrespect. This is no disrespect, D-Hop. Because and D-Hop, if he didn't steal Zeke from me, you wouldn't be my answer. But a lot like how Kobe said, I don't want to be that guy to average 20. D-Hop, do you want to be? You looking a lot like Julio Jones on the Bucks right now. It's time. It's time, D-Hop. I love you, baby boy, but it's time. Hang that shit up. Now, I know y'all tired of us talking about who need to hang it up, who need to come back, and all that type of good stuff. And you know, again, Drake, call us. You got the Facts Over Acts PR team. We got 3 separate plans put together for you. That's how you know we working overtime, unlike them OVO ghostwriters. We working for you, brother. We trying to get you put together. So, you know, come on back the next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. Peace and love, y'all.